So hello and namaste everyone. This is your boy Nishchal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. In this channel, I'm planning to upload videos that are based on technologies, UI UX stuff, and every other thing that I like to talk about and want to share with you guys. So I really hope that you guys enjoy my contents, my videos, and I wish that you learn something new from this. So without any further ado, let's get started with the video. So आजको भिडियोमा चाहिँ I'm going to talk about the difference between UI design, UX design and product design. If you are starting a designer who just entered the design industry or who's planning to enter the design industry, then you might have come across these words. UI design as in user interface design, UX design as in user experience design, and product design. So these soft fields of design industry, they come interchangeably. The title comes interchangeably, but there are differences between the responsibilities and things that UI designers, UX designers, and product designers do. But based on what type of company you are working with, how large the company is, or which part of the world you reside in, these things could be generalized. For example, UI designers could do UX designer stuffs and vice versa, and product designers, they basically do like everything. But before understanding the difference, it is very essential to know the responsibilities and roles of respective designers. So I'm going to list down the main responsibilities of each of these topics so that you have basic idea of the differences. So first thing, UI design. Please ignore my handwriting. UI design भनेको चाहिँ user interface design. User interface design. अनि user interface designers, they focus on how your product looks. If I say product in this video, then I mean websites, apps, softwares, dashboards, and every other thing that designers, UI UX designers make. So what comes under UI design? Design elements. Design elements भनेको चाहिँ they are basic things of any product. For example, fonts, colors. I think I need to decrease my pen size. Fonts, colors, layouts, shapes, images, etc. Like very basic things. And another thing that comes under UI design is interaction. Interaction भनेको चाहिँ how users interact with your product and how your product respond to any action taken by user. For example, userले कुनै एउटा एक्सन लियो भने चाहिँ तपाईको प्रोडक्टले कसरी त्यो कुरालाई बेस गराएर युजरसँग इन्टरेक्ट गर्छ, त्यो भनेको UI डिजाइनरको रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी हो. And another thing is design systems. So design systems भनेको के त? Design systems भनेको चाहिँ large companies like Apple, Google, Figma बनाएको एउटा स्ट्यान्डर्ड्स हो, एउटा रुल हो. So design systems are standards defined by these companies for consistency throughout their apps. And like if you go and search for Apple design systems, Google design systems, Figma design systems, then you'll get a lot of components that you can download and use in your products, and they are reusable. For example, like navigation bar, hamburger icons, and every other things that can be used again and again while building your products. So those are design systems. Another thing is animation. Animation means like basically adding motion to your product. For example, alert motionहरु भयो, guidance motionsहरु भयो, अनि transitional animationsहरु, like if a user goes from one part of your app or website to another part of your app or website, then the transitional animationsहरु, confirmation को animationहरु, these all come under UI design. So अर्को कुरा भनेको responsiveness. Responsiveness भनेको चाहिँ how your product or content react to different screen sizes or browser spaces. So तपाईँले कुनै पनि वेबसाइट तपाईँले ल्यापटपमा खोल्दाखेरि कस्तो देखिन्छ अनि त्यही वेबसाइटलाई इफ यु ओपन अफ द सेम वेबसाइट इन यो ह्यान्डहेल्ड डिभाइसेस देन त्यहाँ कस्तो देखिन्छ भनेर चाहिँ यो रेस्पोन्सिभनेसको कुराहरू चाहिँ युआई डिजाइनको अन्डरमा पर्छ. एन्ड अनदर थिङ इज एसेसिबिलिटी. एसेसिबिलिटी भनेको चाहिँ we need to make our product accessible for users from every background or every condition. For example, some of your users could be colorblind, so we need to make sure that they can differentiate between the colors that we use and the contrast and every other things that we need to consider to make our product more accessible to the users. So accessibility comes under UI design as well. So अर्को भनेको UX डिजाइन. सो UX डिजाइन भनेको चाहिँ युजर एक्सपिरियन्स डिजाइन. While UI designers they focus on the look of your product, UX designers they focus on how your product feels. So one of the most important and basic thing that UX designers do is UX research. UX research भनेको चाहिँ it is systematically research of your targeted audience, your users, to understand their requirements and put insights and contents accordingly. So that all comes under UX research. And another thing is user personas. User personas भनेको चाहिँ they are fake or sample users that basically represent your whole target audience to understand their behavior, their requirements, their pain points, and everything related to users. And another thing is user flows. So user flows भनेको चाहिँ path taken by users to complete a specific task in your product. For example, if you are working on an e-commerce website or e-commerce app, then होम पेजमा भएको प्रोडक्टमा युजरले क्लिक गरेर त्यहाँदेखि चेकआउट गरुन्जेलसम्मको टास्कमा चाहिँ युजरले कुन कुन स्टेप फलो गर्छ अनि के गर्नुपर्छ भनेर we make a flow chart, so that comes under user flows. And another thing is information architecture. Information architecture, it talks about organizing and structuring the texts in your website basically. So तपाईको वेबसाइट or प्रोडक्टमा भएको इन्फर्मेसनलाई चाहिँ कसरी अर्गनाइज और स्ट्रक्चर गर्नुहुन्छ त्यो कुरा इन्फर्मेसन आर्किटेक्चरको भित्र पर्छ. You need to give more emphasis to more important information and you need to give less emphasis to less important information. So these come under information architecture. And अर्को भनेको usability. How usable your product is. तपाईको प्रोडक्ट युजरले कति इजिली युज गर्न सक्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ युजेबिलिटीको अन्डरमा पर्छ. एन्ड युजेबिलिटी टेस्टिङ इज डन बाई युएक्स डिजाइनर्स थ्रु आउट द डिजाइन प्रोसेस अफ your product. And another thing is UX writing. UX writing भनेको चाहिँ crafting the text in your product. Like that's the most basic thing. तपाईको प्रोडक्टमा भएको every टेक्स्टहरु, for example title भयो, description भयो, or any other things come under UX writing. तपाईको प्रोडक्टमा भएको टेक्स्टहरुले तपाईको प्रोडक्टको स्कोप अथवा तपाईको प्रोडक्टको गोल को मेन थिमलाई क्यारी गर्नुपर्छ. एन्ड देयर आर युएक्स राइटर्स इन बिगर कम्पनीज द्याट डु बेसिकली दिस थिङ्स. बट इफ यु आर इन ए स्मल कम्पनी देन एज अ युएक्स डिजाइनर यु निड टु डु दिस थिङ्स बाई योर सेल्फ. सो द अनदर थिङ, एन्ड आई थिङ्क इट्स अ लिटल बिट कन्फ्युजिङ फर अ लट अफ स्टार्टिङ आउट डिजाइनर्स, इट्स प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन. product design. So while UI designers, they talk about how your product looks, UX designer talk about how your product feels, product designer, they are more focused on the business or economical side of the product. फर इक्जाम्पल डिसिजन मेकिङ कुराहरूदेखि लिएर कतिको कस्ट इफेक्टिभ बनाउने कुराहरू, कतिको इकोनोमिकल्ली फिजिबल छ त्यो तपाईँको प्रडक्ट, त्यो कुराहरू चाहिँ प्रडक्ट डिजाइनरको रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटिजभित्र पर्छ. सो फर्स्ट थिङ प्रडक्ट डिजाइनर्स डु इज दे आर बिजनेस oriented. So product designers, they are business oriented. They need to understand how cost effective your product is and what's the budget of your product, अनि तपाईको प्रोडक्ट बेस गरेको इकोनोमीलाई चाहिँ कसरी एफेक्ट गर्छ तपाईको प्रोडक्टले भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ प्रोडक्ट डिजाइनरको रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटिज अन्डरमा पर्छ. अर्को भनेको कन्भर्जन रेट. कन्भर्जन रेट्स. So product designers, they focus on conversion rates. So conversion rates भनेको चाहिँ what percentage of users performed a certain or specific task or action and what changes are required to be done in your product to make the conversion rates better. यो कुराको डिसिजन चाहिँ product डिजाइनरले गर्छ. अनि another thing is retention and growth. So retention and growth. Retention and growth भनेको चाहिँ how well your product can retain or keep your users over a specific period of time. If your product has good retention, then users keep coming back to use the product or certain part of your product, and it can affect the growth of your product or your company, in a whole. That comes under the responsibilities of product designer. So product designer ले चाहिँ तपाईको whole product design को प्रोसेसलाई मोनिटर गर्छ, लाइक UI डिजाइन, UX डिजाइन, अनि दे अल्सो कन्सिडर द बिजनेस साइड अफ द प्रोडक्ट एन्ड क्लाइन्ट ह्यान्डलिङको कुराहरूदेखि लिएर कस्ट फिजिबिलिटीको कुराहरूदेखि लिएर इकोनोमिक साइड अफ यो प्रोडक्टको कुराहरूदेखि लिएर यो सबै कुराहरूलाई चाहिँ प्रोडक्ट डिजाइनरको रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटिजको अन्डरमा हुन्छ. सो आफ्टर अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ द रोल्स एन्ड रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटिज अफ रेस्पेक्टिभ डिजाइनर्स, लेट्स लुक इन्टु द डिफरेन्स बिट्विन UI UX डिजाइनर एन्ड प्रोडक्ट डिजाइनर. So UI UX designers, they talk about how your product looks and feels. And another thing, they talk about how easy is your product to use. And another thing is how can you make the experience frictionless. So these are the things that UI UX designer, they basically do. So these are the things that UI UX designer, they do and they talk about and work on, whereas product designers, they talk about how cost effective is your product. And how your product affect the market economy. And how can the product be scaled. So yeah, so these are the things that product designers focus on. So I hope you guys understood the difference between UI design, UX design and product design and the roles and responsibilities of respective designers. but you might have to do all of these if you are a single designer in your company, or if you are based in a location where the concept of UI design, UX design and product design it's quite new. So if you go in a bigger company, or if you move to a place where these concepts are already existing, each of these fields could be specialized. For example, interaction design matra गर्ने, there is a different interaction designers, and एनिमेसन मात्र गर्ने छुट्टै मोसन डिजाइनर्स हुन्छ, युएक्स डिजाइनको फिल्डमा पनि युएक्स रिसर्च गर्ने छुट्टै, युएक्स रिसर्च गर्ने छुट्टै, अनि युएक्स राइटिङ गर्ने छुट्टै, इन्फर्मेसन आर्किटेक्चर ह्यान्डल गर्ने छुट्टै हुन्छ. एन्ड प्रोडक्ट डिजाइनर दे डु अल द थिङ्स, दे आर लाइक बेसिकली द प्रोडक्ट lead, they are the design lead who takes care of all these things. So I hope you understood the differences, I hope you learned something new, and that's all for this video. But stick around for more interesting and more technology UI UX related stuffs. So please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Sure. So see ya, bye bye, ciao.